Hi, this is Valentin Sanchez, and today I'm gonna show you how to port a real Drupal 7 model to Drupal 8. To start, we have to go to download a module that is called Scroll to Tot, located in drupal.org/project/scroll to tot. Once you download the version for Drupal 7 and install it, you're gonna have I already have that. Here it is, and as you can see, when you scroll down, the button appears, and if you click on it, you're gonna go to tot again. If you scroll down, you click on it, same. So the first thing that what we have to do when we develop a module is let Drupal know about our module. In Drupal 7 we did with a .info file, but that is not the way anymore. In Drupal 8, I actually have here my module directory. So here the first thing I have to do is create a .info.ynl. Scroll to .info.ynl. And to demonstrate that it's not too different, I'm gonna copy this that we have here. Just remember that this is the module version for Drupal 7, and this is gonna be the version for Drupal 8. So therefore I'm gonna change this for this, not too different. Yes, we're making the same. Package other is necessary because it's gonna be automatically declared like package other. The core is gonna be now H, and files are not necessary anymore, so just delete. And configure, the metadata configure is a little different now. It now works with path configure with routing. So I'm gonna post a scroll to dot form. I'm gonna make this routing later. So I just have here, and something important, Drupal H is declared that it's gonna be a module, and that is making with type that is done with type module. With it, we say, hey Drupal, this is gonna be the module. First, admit this in this list. So I save my file, and I just refresh this page. Scroll, and here we have our module. So before we install it, I'm gonna make something more that is gonna be useful for us. Actually, for me to make the video shorter. So config install. The config install, and here I'm gonna create a file that's gonna be scroll to tot.settings.ynl. I'm gonna say here that the scroll to tot label, but to tot. Don't worry about this, I'm gonna play it later, but now just do it. Scroll to tot position, scroll to tot pg color hover. It is a 6x7. It's a decimal code. Scroll to .pg colored out. CC. So scroll to tot display text true, and scroll to tot enable admin theme true. So just save this file and go away again here, scroll to top, and we're going to install now. This is going to install. Have to wait a little more. And here we are. We have already installed our module, so we go to the Drupal 7 installation. We see that when we go to configuration page, the configuration page, we have an error that is not at point today. We have that link here in the user interface section. There is a menu link that it is declared in the module that is here. Scroll to top module. Here it is, and actually it's in the implementation of scroll to top menu, the hood menu, implementation of hood menu. Here is it. So as you can see in the items array, we have the path that is admin, config, user interface, scroll to top, and title, and everything else. So we're gonna port that to Drupal 8. But to do that now is big different. It's different to different. It's not the same, and it's done with two files that are, one is new. To port this, we need a routing file that I talked about it before. That is scroll to top routing.ynl. And the other is another file is new scroll to top.links.menu.ynl. So in the routing.ynl, we are going to say that scroll to top.form. If you can know that it's the same that we wrote here, because the name of this routing conversion is scroll to .form. Just say the name of the module dot the name what you want to put. You can put, for example, settings or whatever you want, but it has to have the same that we put here, form. And actually you cannot put this, but it's gonna work. I'm gonna show you what this made later. So scroll to top, and here I'm gonna scroll to smart, and here I'm gonna put the path that is gonna be the same that we have in the items key here, and we're going to configure the false values. That is, one of them is title. I'm gonna put scroll to top, and the value form, I'm gonna put Drupal dot scroll to top. I'm gonna explain this later. Scroll to top form, scroll to top form, and requirements. I'm gonna put permission, access administration pages. So if you go to this path, actually whenever you add a YNL file or edit one, you have to clear the cache. So first we go to the conversion page, performance, and clear all caches. Click on clear all caches. Now wait a little. When the Drupal 7 installation, when you click on this carry us in a configuration form for the model, like we can edit the values. I'm gonna show you that later. So here we are, clear all caches, and if we go to the path that we have here, and I copy again here. For example, close. You have a Drupal edge here or here, but this means that whenever the user requests this path that is admin configuration, it's gonna make something. Because if we go, for example, to local host Drupal edge whatever, we're gonna get a page not found. That is because the path is not configured in a routing file, but this is path, yes, but it has an error that I wanna show you why later. But if, for example, I wanna go in incognito mode, I'm gonna copy this and open this. So enter like not their registered user. I'm gonna have access in it. That is because here we declare that this path is gonna check if the user has the permission access administration pages, because no log user doesn't have that permission. It's gonna show us the access init page. So I'm gonna close this. When Drupal check that you have the correct permission, it's gonna call a class called scroll-to-form, localized in the namespace Drupal scroll-to-form. That is what we say here. Form Drupal scroll-to-form. And the error that we get here is because Drupal is actually trying to call this class that doesn't exist. So that is the error that we have here. So to make this work, we're gonna go to our Drupal edge module and create a new folder. Actually, a new folder is gonna be crc form, and inside I'm gonna create a new file. And say scroll-to-form.php. Note that the name of the file is the same that what we declare here, scroll-to-form. So the first thing we're gonna make php z file contains Drupal scroll-to-form. Okay, first we're gonna say that this class is gonna be part of the namespace Drupal, scroll to top, form, and now we declare the class, scroll to top, form. Now we have the class already installed, but already declared. But if we refresh this page, we're gonna get the same error, because form class has to have at least two methods that are get form ID and build form. And if we go to the Drupal 7 version of the module and we enter in the scroll to top here, you can know that there is a configuration. You have changed this but to top, and I save is by to top, and I save the configuration. I already changed the label, so I can do the same with the color, the position, and actually you can know that this is a form, a configuration form. And in Drupal 7, actually in Drupal 8, we have the core have a class that you can inherit to use their methods, and it has configure some stuff that you can use to make a configuration form. To use that, we want to say Drupal. We use Drupal core form, and here we want to say config form base. Now we're going to say extends config form base. Now if we refresh this page, it has to work. Let's see. Okay, we have some errors, syntax error, class. It's because this. I'm gonna show you something to the book. For example, is that I just write form. I'm gonna get an error like the before error. Sorry, it's scroll to the form. Here. I forgot something. We have to make this work. We need at least we need to declare an extract method that is inherit. And here we have public function get for ID. We have to implement this. Then we wanna return the ID of our form. It's gonna be scroll to dot form. This is actually the ID what our form is going to have. Now if we refresh this page, and here we are. This button is because our class is inherited from the class config form base that had a method called build form that automatically put this button and some behavior. But we're gonna, as you can see, the Drupal 7 version has the files to configure our model, and to port that files in that configuration is not too difficult, not too different too, and it's public function build form that gonna use a write argument and a form state interface object. Gonna call form state, but we're gonna get an error because we didn't declare we're gonna use this. So for that, I go here, use Drupal core for state interface, and now to make the same configuration form, I'm gonna see the model file that we have in the Drupal 7 version, and here's it. When the user click on the link, I have a page argument that is scroll to dot settings. It is the function that is gonna call whenever the user click on it, and that is localized in the file scroll to admin.inz. So that is here, and here we have the function. So to port this function that has a form array configured, you're gonna use something simple that is copy and paste that here. So easy, yes, but it has to have different things, some different things, because for example, as I refresh this page, I'm gonna get that error that it says that the variable get function doesn't exist. If I go to Google path variable will get Drupal H, I'm gonna get results about that the variable get function is deprecated. So you to work or to port modules, have to investigate, you have to research, and you're gonna find how to solve the problem. So I really know how to do it, and that is so easy. I'm gonna show you. That is, variable get is not the way anymore. The new way is use a config variable that is an object of the config class that we can get with the method config, passing an argument scroll to dot settings. So you can note that this name what we pass here is the same that the file that we declare here. So in this part we said we're gonna get all the configurations that is saved in a space called scroll to dot settings. If we go to the I remember the name, the configuration management in Drupal 8. Conversion page, and now search pages. It is actually configuration management. And now we go to single import export. here we can see that we have a scroll to top that sentence, and we click on it, and we have the configuration that we made before. Actually, this is not necessary to make at the beginning, but I made that because if you want to add a settings file, a default settings file, actually there is what we declare here is as default setting file, that when the model is installed is gonna have this configuration, and to make that work you have to reinstall your model, and for that I did that at the beginning to know how to not to have to reinstall our model. So now we have that here. We have to access to this information through the inherit method that is config, calling this config, is equal to dot.settings, there is an a, and every variable you get you have to replace with config.get. And now that we have configured our default settings, we can delete this, and that is all. You have to do the same in all variable get that you find. And another thing is to change the global T to the method T. I'm gonna pause the video and make all this, and next I'm gonna return. Now I already did it, and the next thing I have to do is return the form. But I'm gonna show something. We return the form that we create the right form here and all, and we will return that. We have here our configuration form, but we don't have the button because we didn't configure that, and actually make the button work and configure everything is not necessary, because Drupal core has classes to make your life easier, and just we don't return the form, we don't return what the parent of this class will form return, that is, and then we say return parent will form, and we're gonna pass the form and the form state. So we now refresh the page. We have the button here, and we have the behavior. For example, we click on it, we say the configuration we have here, and that is all. But now we have to save the configuration, because for example, if something more I forgot is in Drupal 7 we have this file like a text file, and here I have the same, but Drupal 8 implemented the new version of HTML, the HTML5, and for that we have more kind of our inputs, so we can edit the text files and saying that it's not a text file, it's gonna be a color file. So just TI color. Now if we refresh this page, we get color files, so I can select the colors and all this. But for example, I'm gonna change the color, and now I'm gonna save. I save, but the color didn't save, didn't save. So that is because we didn't declare the submit form method that is gonna save our configurations. So to do that, you have to use, for example, we go here, for example, in this actually save. But where is this? Let's look at this. You have, as we can see, this module doesn't have validating methods, so functions, so we don't need to validate anything, and we just have to save what the user specify in the configuration form. And to do that, you have to go to the inside our method, inside our scroll-to-form class. We have to declare, actually instantiate the method submit form that is actually declared in its parent class, that is config form basis. So I'm gonna say inherit dot, and here we say public function submit form, and this method receive an array, that is the form array, that is by reference to make it convenience, and the same for state interface object for state. So here I have to call the parent submit form to make the behaviors that this method implement work. So I just pass engage the same for state, but above under this I have to save what I get. So the first thing, I'm gonna declare variables. I'm gonna file for state get value scroll to dot label. What I make here is I'm gonna save the value that the user specifies in the configuration form in the file called scroll to dot label. If I go here in my build form, I have here that for scroll to dot label, I have to copy this here, and for state have a method called get value, and where I have to pass the argument with the name of the file, in this case scroll to dot label, and I'm gonna get what the user enter in that file. I'm gonna make the same for all values, that one is position, typical than for state get value scroll to dot position. And you can note the name of our files are the same of the name or our configurations or our settings, our default settings. That is for convention to make it easier. Next is BG color hover for. I'm gonna copy this and just edit here. Get value equal to dot BG colored hover BG colored out BG colored out. Let's say it display text, display text, enable admin theme, enable admin theme. So the next thing, I have here my variables with the values that we specify in the configuration form. I save that in a variable, and now I have to save this in the configuration management using the same config, because the variable config again, this config, we pass the same, scroll to dot settings, let's comment this, get the config object. So now we have to save, and to do that you have to use the method set. Let's go in values, the user submitted in the form. So here you say config set that scroll to dot label. You're gonna have the value of our variable label. Cascade, we can do this using the method in cascade. So set scroll to dot position, the same for everything. Set scroll to dot bg colored hover, bg color hover. So set scroll to dot bg colored out, bg colored out. Set scroll to dot display text, display text, and set scroll to dot enable admin theme, and when we set all the values, we have to save. So we say at the final we say save, we call the method save, and we actually save all this value in the configuration management. So I'm gonna save this, and now if I refresh my configuration page, and edit again the color, for example, this, save configuration. So we save the color, what is selected. Now the next thing that we're gonna do is make this model work correctly, because we make everything but we didn't have the button yet. That is the most important. So as to see how it works, I'm gonna go to the scroll to module in the Drupal 7 version, and here I have the implementation of the HUD init. And if I Google, for example, HUD init Drupal H, I'm gonna result about hood init was removed or is deprecated. So to port hood init in Drupal 8, I have to create a file called the same. Scroll called model. Okay, model. And here I'm gonna copy this, how it is here. Now, but I want to replace hood init for preprocessed page variables. Now, if I refresh whichever page, it works because preprocessed page. Here doesn't work because here I have to, the global theme is not the way anymore to get the name of the thing. The way to do this in Drupal 8 is theme. We call the method theme get active theme and get name. We see here that we have again the variable get. I don't know why it's a refresh. Refresh this page. Configuration. We have performed here. So clear all caches. I forgot about it. Clear all caches. We get an error that is about variable get doesn't exist because how we saw before, the new way is using the config object, but in this case to get that you have to say config Drupal config. And here I'm gonna pass the same, scroll to settings, and I'm gonna change this for config get, and the same here, config get. Actually I have to delete this this. Standards say this. So if we read the logic of this if conditional, the condition is if the checkbox of enable admin theme is equal to true, you're gonna show the button I'm gonna show that in here. For example, I have the button in the config pages, configuration pages, and actually the admin pages. So, but if I disable here and I save configuration, I don't have the button here, but if I go to whatever page that is not an admin page, I have the button. So here we say if the admin theme checkbox is checked, you're gonna show the button. Actually this is here because it is incorrect, not the correct way. But or for if the config or the scroll.enable admin thing is disabled, but the thing that we have now is distant of the admin theme, that say that is not in a config in a admin's non-admin page, so you're gonna show it again. But variable get doesn't work, and the way to get the admin theme now is this way. Admin, let's say here, theme is equal to Drupal config, but here we're gonna say system theme, and we're gonna get the value get admin. I'm gonna compare that here, admin theme, and now yes, now if I refresh a page again, this for example, I'm gonna get that Drupal at underscore add underscore cz doesn't exist, because if I Google again that, I'm gonna get that it's deprecated and so on. Now the way to add CSS style sheets or JavaScript script is using the attached method form attached way. So as we can see here, we are adding a CSS style sheet and a Drupal, actually a JavaScript script that is located in a file. Here the file is css and .js. So to make this, actually what this makes in Drupal is to add these libraries, the JavaScript and CSS file script in the head of the page. But to make that in Drupal, we have to declare a new file called scroll.libraries.ynl. In here I wanna declare that the name of my library is scroll tutor. You can write whatever you want and say version 1. Here I'm gonna write the path of my JavaScript, that is gonna be yes scroll tutor without other option, CSS theme, the directory is CSS scroll tutor.css, sorry, here is scroll tutor.js, and say that this library is gonna have a dependency. The library depends that we have the jQuery. So they say core dependencies, core jQuery. Now I'm gonna go to my sites here, and Drupal H installation, like my modules, custom, and here I'm gonna create two folders, JS and CSS. Now I go to modules, at least in the modules sites, all modules. Here's the scroll to top. Here I have to copy this to here and this to here. If I open the CSS file, I hear that the where is here? Here the background image is at around PNG. So all image that I have to have in a image folder. So here I say this, and now when I have some problem, and then I do this to make permission. So this, yes, and see images. Actually the 777 is not the recommended, but to avoid problems, so if I go now here again, I have my libraries, and here when the if condition is true, I'm not gonna charge one by one. I'm gonna charge the library, but now is with the variables. Let me see, variables attached. Let's say sorry. What is my let's say attached library, and here, and this is gonna be the name of the library that is scroll to top. But I'm gonna write the name of our module first. The name of our module slash the name of our library. So I'm going to copy this here. Here, okay, here, and I'm gonna change this for config get. You know why that? So this. I don't know why. Position. But following the standards. So we change this and copy this. Sorry. So these two. Let me show you how this works. So here we are configuring some variables that we're gonna use to make a inline style sheet later. But here is a config get, and get the position is equal to 1, because for example if I go to my, I'm gonna close this for it's okay, this I know I go here, I have in the scripted position I have a select with the value 1, 2 and 3. So these values are saved when you save your configuration form, and I get these values when I require it. So if the position is 1, if that say that it's gonna be in the right, at the right, you're gonna add this CSS. If the position is in the middle, you're gonna do this, and it's necessary to make something for the left. And here we have the config get display text. This is false because it is a checkbox. This checkbox is false. You're gonna make the label, this label, you're gonna make this hidden, so if not, just leave this empty. And here we create a BG color with the CSN. We get here the color, config get, design here, and here we create the CSS inline, the inline CSS we're gonna pass. But if we refresh, we're gonna get the error. Config 28 here. The error that Drupal at GS doesn't exist. That is because this method is deprecated now, and to make that is something similar that we have here, but it's now the way is. And let's see, this. That's it. Variables. Attached yes is equal to Drupal. Actually is equal to a right, so a right is equal to dot, and it's not the way, it's data. This data is gonna be at least type, and type is a setting. Let's erase this, delete this. Is alright, data type, sorry, type is gonna be a setting script, so setting, and the data is gonna be an alright data, alright with a key label with the value of my value of my label. Let's scroll to dot label. This is gonna be used later in the JavaScript, so I'm gonna show that later. Let's this okay, it's correct. Here now there is the deprecated too, and you have to change this with variables attached CSS, and here we say is an array with the data that is in our variable CSS. So in the type it's gonna be an inline CSS. So inline style sheet, inline. I say this. Now if I refresh this page, this doesn't work because it doesn't work yet, because if I open the console I have an error reading the label that we have passed, and that make our script stop. So if I go here, I'm gonna close this two. This is gonna later, and I go to the yes, scroll to top, and here I have to say change some codes, because you know some are different. For example, here in the function I have to get the Drupal and Drupal settings, and I'm gonna make a now in the behavior I have to attach a function, but with Drupal settings is a global noun, so to access to the settings I don't have to use that now. I just use the Drupal settings, the global Drupal settings. So this I have to copy here too. Let me see. Here the query, instead the query is, you can put jQuery actually, jQuery, that's all. So now I have to change the, let me see, is the problem here is that now you know, to access to the variable label that we passed here, you have to write, use the, you have to use that using the Drupal settings, the global Drupal settings dot label. That's all. Let me see. Now we're gonna change this, because this now to use change we have to use the, I'm gonna show you that in action. So we go to the Drupal 7 version. I'm gonna enable this and we change something. For example, change the color with A. They're not different, but we're gonna get a preview. So that is the logic is of that preview is here. When the input change, you're gonna show that. So there is not a way now in jQuery with a newer jQuery version. So is the way is using the ID. Remember the ID that we pass that we pass in the for. Let's here series for. We pass a ID, and if we go to here and look at inspect element, I have the form and ID is the same that we passed, but with dash and no underscore. So that means we have to say here is scroll to dot form on and get the event change and input. When an input in the in the form change, you're gonna do this at a variable style. Here is got there, and now the way to check is the checkbox is checked is using pro. Get the bow until you get in here. It's correct and it's okay. So the next thing is change. This is correct and scratch it out. Here we have another even. Here's on. Click. Now, whenever we change a CSS or a GS file, or we have to clear our cache. So we go to. We're gonna refresh this because we wanted to clear before. Now I'm gonna clear all caches. So, but here in here we're gonna have the bottom, but without the image that we have here. I'm gonna show you. It's clearing, so we have to wait a little more. Okay, now if I scroll down, I have the bottom, but I don't have the add route image here. I also noticed that the body dot label doesn't appear because here I run this way. I mean, and so I just changed this and it worked successfully. So we remember, okay, the arrow image is not appearing here because we changed the directory of that image. So I have to go to the CSS, and here I'm gonna change this to the directory image. Yes. Fancy more is that Drupal Edge doesn't support Ethernet 46, so these hats are not necessary. So let's borrow this and this. Now I'm gonna clear all caches again. I'm gonna show another thing that I noticed. I noticed that I go CSS and I open this file with other editor. I have configured my Sublime text with the indentation is with 2 spaces. I'm gonna put indent using spaces. That file doesn't have indentation with spaces is with tabulation, and the standard code of Drupal say that your file have to have indentation with spaces, so you have to configure that in your editor. And if I open this as in another editor, I have that here is an indentation, and this editor have indentation with 4 spaces, so I know the difference, the space here. I recommend you to do this whenever you have to port a module. You have to configure your indentation with the space and put that and write and put that your indentation is of 2 space and make this. I'm not gonna make this because it's a waste of time, so you know what you have to do. So I'm gonna go to my installation here, and now I have my button here. Another thing that I know that is was I'm gonna change. I changed the color here. I have another color, for example. I'm gonna change to let's say a blue one, and the mouse out, and I save this. But I have a silver one, so I noticed that here it has a background color that we have to erase, actually delete, and now, oh sorry, I have to clear all cache again. Something more that we will have to do now is, I forgot at the beginning, was sorry, I forgot at the beginning to make this. We have a link in our user interface section here that we don't have in the Drupal 8 version. Now if I scroll, I have the blue one here. So if I go to the configuration, I'm gonna close this. I don't have because I forgot about it. For do that, I'm gonna go here, and this menu link, I'm gonna write the link. I'm gonna configure the link saying scroll to .menu, let's say menu. You can put whatever you want. It's gonna be, we have to have the title, scroll to dot, that we have here in the menu here. It's scroll to dot, a description, this description, in this case I have to specify the parent. The parent is the section. In this case, the parent is the user interface section, so I have to write system.admin config. With this I am referencing the user interface section, so the link is gonna appear there. And the other thing is route name. The route name means that whenever or when the user click on the link, it's gonna go to the path configured in the routing. The routing, I have closed that, is routing, and the routing here is routing form. When the user click on the link, this link is gonna carry it to the path configured in that routing. So if I save this, I have to clear the cache again. So over here, develop performance, clear all caches. Remember that when you add a new YNL file or edit one, you have to clear all caches. When you add as a style sheet or a JavaScript script, or you edit one, you have to clear caches 2. Or when you add a new implementation of a HUD, you have to do that again. Actually 2. That is my recommendation. So the video now I clean caches, so I go to configuration again. Here it is the link. So now I'm gonna hold to a stand and I'm gonna show you this shoe. There is scroll to top, and I have, if I click on here, there is scroll to top. Let's me we didn't yeah, I've configured, we got the configure again. I borrowed that before, so sorry. This is the very scroll to top dot form, clear all caches again. Sorry, I had some problems during the video. This video was actually it was a trial and error video, so now yeah, here scroll to chat, and I have a configure link here. If I click on it, I go to the form configuration. So that was all for today. This is Valentin Sanchez. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video.